Howdy, folks. Welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And today is Saturday, right? I think I got it right for once. I'm telling you, I get my days mixed up all the time, but I do know it is Saturdays. And I am happy to announce we have finally Mr. Robert V. How you doing, Robert?
Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm
This has
happy
been
to
a
be
long
here.
time coming.
I know.
Long
I
time
know.
coming.
Very long time coming. I'm glad to be here. About time I get on here. I've been putting you off, and there was things coming up, and then finally I'm like, this is the time. I got to do it. About time.
Hold on, that's me. I screwed up.
Oh, okay.
I'm always telling people, make sure you turn your stuff down. And but I will say, I was kind of freaking out a little bit. I'd sent out a Zoom link for Robert earlier and put 9:45 on there Eastern time meeting. I was thinking he may have had trouble getting on or something. I didn't know if he'd gotten my email or not. And so I was starting to get nervous. I was like, oh my God, I got so many people excited about this show and now it's not going to happen. But lo and behold, Robert comes flying in. It's the last moment. He's actually been out riding horses today, right?
That's right. Just got done with the ride. Real nice weather today here in North Dakota. It was beautiful weather. The horses went great. Was really excited. Enjoyed the whole day. I tell you what, that's one thing about North Dakota is there's plenty of sun and blue skies, and it's just great. Everybody complains about the cold here, but in all reality, it's really not that cold. We got a few cold days, but
Man, I'm telling you, I just had a revelation, and I know that I'm right about this. You should start vlogging, like going out and riding on horseback and talking, because people love your voice. I mean, you've got that voice. I'm telling you, you need to start doing videos as well, too, man. I'm telling you, you would really do well.
I know. I put that last hiking video I put out was really good. I got a lot of positive results on it, and I mean to do it a lot, but I get busy doing things and I work a lot, and when you're working, you're working.
Yeah, you do work a lot. This is true. I mean, you're getting a little more time, kind of not by choice, but
yeah, exactly. But I think in the big picture, a lot of people in the world are getting a lot of free time, and that's what I wanted to come and talk to you about tonight. And that was the whole thing. I got just this huge jump of energy to. You were talking about being positive, and I'm like, yeah, let's make something positive out of all of this. This is a thing. Be positive. Okay, great. So I'm working, and all of a sudden, well, I'm not working so much, not so much overtime, not so much this. The hours are cut, the days are different. Well, let's make difference out of this. Okay, now's the time to be on the show. This is the change. So quit procrastinating and do the change. And I'm sure that everybody out there, and this is the thing, let's make positive out of this change. The people, the controllers, the whatever you want to call them, they've been twisting our world because we refuse to think for ourselves, and we became followers. We were following the narrative. We go to work, we come home, we turn on that TV. You get mind controlled by that. And if you're not, you got your kids, you got your family, you got whatever you're going to do. You got sports, whatever. When they ended all of that. Now there's something different. Now it's time to change. And instead of sitting home being miserable, change with the change, but don't let them change you the way they want you to change. Yep. Be more than that. Go out, read that book you've always wanted to. Start thinking for yourself, because that's how we got here. Make the change. Be nice to your neighbor. Wave to somebody. Get to know somebody instead of just walking by and say, I'm in a hurry. I can't take the time. I don't have time.
And I'm pleased to say that, I'm seeing quite a bit of that. And I don't think that they anticipated as many people responding as they are. by reaching out and, trying to help one another.
Yes, yes. The people have been changing, but it's changing not because, I mean, they're changing because, but I'm talking about really telling yourself, I need to make a change.
Yeah.
And doing something different. Don't be depressed in your house. They're saying on the news, the suicides are up, and people are this, that, and they're coming out, and the criminals are getting, all these things. And it's like, don't become a criminal. Don't get depressed. Make positive out of all of this. Go for that horse ride. Go for that walk. Read that book. Turn this thing around, and when you become positive, you will make other people positive. Even just by the things you say or the way you talk, or if you do the work, things will come to you. That's why I know a lot of things, because I did the work. I did the study. I read the book. I watched the news, and then I put the pieces together. I did the work, and then people, how'd you know that? Well, because I did I seen what was happening. I used my common sense. I did my thinking in my brain. I used my brain to think, not to just say, if you go with the crowd, you're going to get what the crowd gets.
Yep, exactly.
And if they get to go to the FEMA camp, they get to go without food, they get to lose their job, doesn't mean that you have to. Be innovative. Come up with something new, happy, and people will gravitate towards. They will gravitate towards that. They will become what they want to be. What you are, and do you agree?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that's why, I knew that I would take a hit in numbers, but I refused to go along with that. Like I said, everybody else has already got all this other crap covered. And that's why I do want to remain positive.
Mm-hmm.
I've
and
gotten some slack over it, though. Trust me,
Oh yeah. Well, and you do positive. A lot of people, negative sells. I mean, if you look at the news, the news is all about bad doesn't sell. Oh my gosh, there was a tornado. Everybody turns on the TV to see who got killed, right?
Yeah. Speaking of, I want to say just real quick, I hate to interrupt, but David was supposed to be on, the other night, and Trina had come on last minute. Well, I found out that David had a tornado. It was like a couple of miles from his house. He just had minimal wind damage there, but his power was out and all that. But he is okay, and his property's okay. But I just wanted to let everybody know real quick. And when you said tornado, that's what sparked the memory.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, and that's good. I'm glad he's all right. Everything's good. But that's the thing, he's a positive message too. Since we're talking about him, he's an inspiration. I really enjoy that he gets on and talks about stuff. David is awesome. There's other people who've inspired me too, and made me want to go out to do videos and to be on the show. Crystal MacArthur, give a good shout out to her. Yeah. She makes some positive videos, and they're short and nice. Elsie Darling, she makes some wonderful videos too. Just very nice, and they're just so good. And it's like, if you can get on there and make a nice video, and I can do it too. Yeah. And I challenge other people to just get on there for a second and just download something, even if it's just to say,
there's so much power in it.
Yeah, exactly. People
it's another pebble tossed out in the universe.
That's right. And that's the thing. If it here's a statistic they were saying. They were saying something about the FEMA camps, and the FEMA was talking about the shots, or somebody, they were going to give these vaccinations, and they said, oh well, 92% of people will just go along with it. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if you really look it up, if you got 10% or more, you can change the whole 100%. But if you don't have that 10%, this is a fact, factual thing. I don't remember where I seen it. I did read it somewhere. I don't have it right in front of me, but anyway, I read it, and it was, if you have 10%, you can change the whole. But if you only have, if you got less, you're out of luck. And right now they know that we only have that 8%. And I'm thinking, if we, the group, can get out there and you can change just a few more people, those people will change, and then you'll have that 10%. And how much is that 10%? And it's not, you only have to change 2%. 2%. That's it.
Well, I mean, that's like, I've been watching these, concert streams and stuff like that. And I'm even plugging, there's thousands of people in there. Most people, they don't care what I'm saying, but I'm still planting those seeds, even in those chat rooms, throwing out those quotes and things like that. Like I said, each person getting out, and just imagine, each ripple multiplying. I mean, that's like you said, speak up. Everybody has a voice.
That's right. And if you don't say anything, you're part of the crowd. And that's the worst. I remember I was at work, and this is a little story. So here I am, and I said, everybody, this thing was coming along, and I said, I've been watching this in China. They're closing down everything, and I'm saying, maybe we shouldn't get together in this meeting. We should probably not, we should probably wash our hands. We should probably do a lot of things different. And they kind of laughed at me like, what do we need to do that for? And later on, a couple of the guys said, hey, yeah, I agreed with you. And I said, no, you didn't. You didn't speak up. If I would have had a couple of guys in the room say, hey, yeah, we should probably wash our hands more. We should probably, do what Bob said. He's probably right about that. The rest of the crowd probably wouldn't have laughed about it.
And most of these things are common sense.
Yes, washing your hands. When I said, hey, you should wash your hands 7 times a day, they say. That's supposed to be how many times a day you wash these hands. Wash these hands 7 times a day. But they were like, oh, I don't need to wash my hands. It's like, really? How is that just silly? It's just silly. Come on. It's just common sense. Wash your hands.
It is. It's a simple mindedness, though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So I was looking at some of the stuff that I jotted down about, and most people, for instance, are in denial, and and then they don't understand words either. They don't understand what the meanings of words are, and so people overlook stuff. So the thing is that people are in denial, and they say, oh yeah, like, we'll just say, okay, I can climb the mountain. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to climb I can climb that mountain just as good as anybody. That's nothing big. And we're just using this as an example. But when it gets up to it, they can't climb the mountain. Heck, they can't even walk a mile. And just be honest with yourself and say, I can't climb that mountain. I can barely walk a mile, but I'm not going to give you grief because you said you could climb the mountain. Oh, you actually did climb the mountain, but I could do that too. It's no big deal. Don't be in denial of that. Don't say, well, the world is crashing down, but don't worry. I got plenty of food. Don't worry, nobody's losing their job. Well, a few people lost their jobs and stuff. Don't worry, I ain't worried about it. No, don't be in denial about it. Agree with that, the thing that there is people losing their jobs. Yes, people are getting the virus. Yes, but guess what? That's the opportunity. That's the positive part where you say, I ain't denying that stuff. I'm going to prepare. I'm going to wash my hands. I am going to stock up on some food. I am going to take the proper precautions. And now I'm not worried. I don't have to worry about this, that, and the other because I saved up a few dollars. I didn't spend extravagantly. I didn't go out and buy a new stereo that I've been wanting because I didn't save up, and I just charge it on my credit card, and I might lose my job, but who cares? I didn't do that stuff. I prepared a little bit. Just that little bit makes all the difference, and then you're not worried. You say, yeah, and that's what happens. People deny that it's happening until it happens to them. And then they cry out, and you know where I'm going with this. Oh, God, help me. Oh, I'm going to pray to Jesus and he's going to come down. I hear this and it's like, nobody's helping you. You have
Nobody's
to
going to save
help
you but
yourself.
yourself.
That's right. You have to save yourself. Get off your lazy ass. Go and save yourself. Work
That's
a
so
little
funny you
harder.
say that. I almost named the stream that same thing. Nobody can save you but yourself. I
Yeah.
swear.
Isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's the thing. You need to do things for yourself. If you want to learn, you need to open the book. You want to learn, you need to turn on some YouTube videos and learn how to do something, and then actually go out and do it. Don't just want to. You have to do it. Don't wait to the last minute. Prepare ahead. This catastrophe that's happening right now is like a slow moving boulder coming down a mountain, and it's taking years to come down. We're just as exaggeration. And you're at the bottom of the mountain, you see the boulder coming. Oh, don't worry, I don't got nothing to worry about. The boulder's still coming. Don't worry, we can take another day. Don't worry. And then one day the boulder's right there and you're going, oh my God, we better run for the hills. Got to get out of the way. Well, the boulder's here right now and it just squished your house and you and everybody in it, and you're done for. You didn't have time to get out of the way because you waited too long and you kept procrastinating, and it's just the end of the line. Don't procrastinate. Say, well, we better move the house. We better get out of the way. The boulder's coming. It's going to be here in like 2 weeks or a month or a year.
Well, and it's sad because that's like even, I mean, I've been guilty of it myself, but a lot of people just don't really pay it any mind until it affects them personally.
Yes, that you got to hit on the head. I know with this whole thing coming, it was like, unless it's like, okay, we'll talk about the tornado. We all know David, and he's there in the tornado, and the tornado happened to him. He's right there. He's looking at the destruction going, oh my goodness, everything's been destroyed in the town or the area, or the trees are all tore up and everything. And we just go, wow, I'm glad it didn't hit him. I'm glad he's all right. But we didn't see it didn't happen to me, so I don't worry about it. I went for a horse ride today. Exactly. But unless that tornado came through here, I wouldn't worry about it.
I mean,
I wouldn't think
I
about
guess
it.
most people just want to remain oblivious once. I guess that, to a point, it's understandable because, look how much grief people are caused by all the unneeded stress that they worry about daily anyway. So
Yes.
just to compound that with someone else's stress. And I mean,
Yes.
that goes from the constant programming because the media, that's all they throw at us is constant stress, plus the daily struggle to get through life, the
Yeah.
grind.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They're throwing this out there over and over and over until it's just like in your face, and it makes you sick, and you start fearing things and worrying about it, and then you don't want to watch news. And there's so many people that don't even turn on the news, and they just play some music and they go oblivious about what's going on. And then when you tell them this is happening, they're like, what? I didn't hear about that. I didn't know. I don't know what is 5G. I never heard of 5G. When's that? What does that do? I'm like, well, look it up. You have a magic box right in your hand right now. All you have to do is put your little letters in the thing that says Google, and it will come up and it will tell you whatever you want to know if you just ask, but you don't ask.
Let me ask
And
you a
so you
question. Do you think that the smartphone has made us devolve as a species?
Yeah, definitely. Um, I I've been studying a little bit of this too. So in the beginning, quite a while ago, I'll tell you a small story. So I studying the Bible, and I'm studying which Bible is what, and I'm listening to Wayne about this and that, and Jeff, and Jeff. Anyway, he's going on about stuff. So I'm trying to get all this information and trying to put stuff together. Well, in the process, I found out a lot of things. And then I bought this really old Bible from 1849. And what I found in there wasn't actually written in the words of the Bible. It wasn't the Bible at all, but it was the names that people signed in the Bible and the beautiful handwriting they had. I mean, beautiful handwriting. They just, it's just beautiful to look at the handwriting.
Was
And
it cursive?
oh, definitely, yes, yes, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm like, wow, that it's just nice to look at. That was the best part about the Bible, tell you the truth. Anyway, and looking at the names and the dates from all the years, and then I bought some old school books from the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bought some school books from the 50s and the 60s. And I know what the school books looked like when I was in school. Well, I started reading some of these school books from the 1800s. And the fourth grade reader was definitely more like something I would read in high school. And when I looked at the 50s books, it was still higher learning than when I was in school for that grade. And then I don't know what kids are reading today,
Oh,
but
this Common Core they have today is pure crap.
yeah, but I do know that the kids nowadays don't read much or as much. Now, it's not to say that some kids just don't excel naturally. I'm just saying is that for the kids who aren't readers or whatever, they don't have to read. They can get that audio read or whatever. I've done it before where the computer just reads you the book,
Yeah.
or whatever, and they can get CD books and audio books. And well, what do you need? You just listen to it. Eventually the kids are going to be so dumb that I don't know. I just push the thing and I do talk to text. I don't have to write anything. Well, I want to know numbers. I just ask Alexa, what's 5 plus 5? And Alexa gives me the number. And that's what it'll be.
Well, I've been talking about going into this telepathy. So maybe that's how some of these languages and things get lost, because, I do believe that there's been civilizations in the past that just communicated telepathically.
Yes. Yes. Well, in that book that the mind book, he's basically, and every other book that I've read, they're saying that in order to do the mind thing, you don't think in words, you need to think in thoughts and pictures.
Yep.
Everything is communicated through feelings, thoughts, and pictures, not in words at all.
Yep.
You have to quit the words, get that little voice in your brain to shut up, and then you have to think in words and pictures. And I'm thinking, that's probably good, because that little voice in my head never shuts up.
That's the way those downloads come in. It's not voice, it's like you said, it's images and feelings and things like that. There's no words to it.
Yes, exactly. And if you tune the voice out, the images and the feelings and the pictures and images will come through. But you got to get the little voice to be quiet for a little bit.
I think the voice is the higher self.
It could be, but whatever it is, it's just jabbering away. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it never shuts up. Do you ever say, and I tried to ask my buddy, I says, well, you got that voice in your head and but who, if you're with yourself, why do you have to speak in words to your own brain? Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't.
No.
I should be able to just think and it should know. Why do I got to keep talking in my head? Anyhow,
I said I try to stay out of my head.
Yeah, that's the best thing. Well, actually, stay in your head, but get the little voice to shut up so you can get some more information.
That's how meditation truly saved my life. Like literally, I used to be stressed out all the time and just couldn't control my thoughts. It was just a madhouse up there, and it literally saved my life.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I don't even have to take blood pressure medicine anymore just because of meditation.
Nice. See, and that's the thing about that the people that always talk about curing themselves, oh, God cured me, or I just did whatever and I was cured. And it's like, okay, well, did you cure your, did God really cure you, or did you just shut up for a while and ask for the you know, the all the create whatever to cure you? Did you cure yourself? You cured yourself.
Yep.
You know,
But you're giving that power away to an entity.
yes, yes, exactly. I mean, we were talking about different languages and stuff, and different things, and I've been looking into that a little bit too, and it's all about your mind and concentration, just like that book is saying. There was um, you know, it's like I looked up some of this stuff where people had this miraculous whatever, they got clunked on the head and all of a sudden they could speak another language, or they you know, something happened, they got sick and all of a sudden they could play the piano. And look it up, you can see that some people develop
I've
different
seen
skills.
things like it.
Yeah,
That's
so the
because
question,
we already have this information in us. That's what people call the Akashic records. It's a part of our DNA.
exactly. So if you just ask the right questions, or you just concentrated enough, that language would just come to you. You wouldn't have to go through that process of learning it. It would just come out, because it's whatever it is, it's already in you.
Yep.
You already know how to play the piano, the guitar. You already know how to speak the foreign. You just, or it's there. You just haven't tapped into that information yet. What was the one about? There's a story about Muhammad Ali and how he punched some guy out, and with the magic of TV, um, they caught it, and he never actually hit the guy before the guy was falling to the ground. And did you ever hear that story where the guy, it was a while ago, or maybe it wasn't him, but I'm pretty sure it was. And it was a big scandal because they thought, you know, well, he's cheating, you know, the guy fell to the ground. But because he was concentrating so much, you know, when he never actually hit the guy. His brain power was hitting the guy
Yeah,
because
I
he had
mean,
so much
you have an
focus.
energy field around you. That's like some of those martial arts, like, you know, in
Yeah,
China and places like I've heard of similar stories where they don't even really hit them, but it's just the energy from it, and it knocks them out.
well, yeah, them guys who break 40 bricks, you know, with their punch. Well, do you ever hit a brick? It's hard as
No,
a rock.
no.
I mean, if I hit one
I hit
brick
a
with
wood
my,
wall, but
yeah, exactly. And what did your hand feel like when you got done?
I broke my knuckle.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now this guy's hitting a brick and he's breaking 40 of them, you know, with one shot. I've seen that, or a giant chunk of ice, or something. He's doing something. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, you know, but he's not hitting the thing with his hand. His hand is physically doing it.
That's why you
But
see them concentrating before. They're
that's right.
visualizing that
Yes.
thing break. That's just
Yes.
like manifesting. It's the same
Yes.
thing. You're visualizing the process and you're seeing like it's already been done.
Exactly. So the point with all of this is okay, we're back to square one here. The point is that people like to see an example of it. That, you know, oh, just manifest something. Well, you know, how can I do that? I can't do that. Oh, you know, I sat there and thought all day that I wanted that pencil to move across the table and it never did, you know. But you know, it can be done. The problem is that you just don't know the trick, the not the trick, but how to concentrate hard enough. The technique there. That's the word I'm looking for. The technique, because these guys, that's your example, is these guys breaking the bricks, doing the whatever they're doing. They've mastered the technique of the manifestation to focus all their energy so hard on that brick that they can break it. You know that your hand would break. I know my hand. That's why they have them on TV. Ooh, look, he broke the brick. He hit the thing and broke the bricks, and you know, it's a miracle. You know, but nobody jumps up and down and go, wow, that guy's amazing. You know, we gotta go find out how he does it, and you know, let's follow him. No, they just go, well, you know, he's a karate guy, or he's a whatever, and you know, blah blah blah, and they pass him off and move on. It's just a fun trick that guy knows how to do. But is it a trick? No,
Nope.
it's
It's
not a trick.
amazing what the mind can do. I want to say real quick, man, it's freaking hell on earth outside. So if I lose power or internet, just keep it rolling and I'll try to get back in here.
You got another storm coming your way?
Oh, bad, man. Lightning bad outside right now.
Well, you keep getting enough rain, you're going to have to build yourself an ark too.
Man, I'm telling you, don't think that hadn't crossed my mind. It rains here all the time. And like I said, it piss pours here. It's not just rain. I mean, it's torrential downpour.
You know, geez. Yeah, that's not
The
good.
creek will be running.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's you planting a garden?
Yeah, yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'm getting the stuff ready. I built myself a little greenhouse, planting the garden.
I
I
want a
suggest.
greenhouse one of these days, but I'm just doing a garden this year.
Oh yeah, it's just it's nothing much. I got like a little flower bed thing, and I just encased it in some 2x4s, and then put some plastic over it, and
That's
it
all you
made a little
need.
hothouse. But
Yeah,
yeah, here in North Dakota, you got to extend the season as much as you possibly can,
I can
and
imagine.
you got to grow the right crops. Like I noticed, like the root crops grow the best here. So it's potatoes, onions, radishes, beets, turnips, things like that grow in the ground. Those are the best to grow. Um,
I got radishes and turnips.
yeah, nice. And I suggest everybody else go out there, do something, learn something, plant a seed, see it grow. See, that's another thing. You have the time now.
Yeah.
Go out. I remember.
And I promise you, once you eat something you grew yourself, God, it's so worth it. You will want to do it again and again because it
Yes.
just tastes so much better.
Yeah, there's nothing like picking a tomato right off the vine and put it in your mouth, and oh, it's just so good.
I
That's if
can't
you like
wait.
tomatoes.
I can't wait to eat a homegrown tomato sandwich. It's nothing like that, man.
Yeah, that is good. I remember when I was a kid, we did the sandwich with the tomato and then the mayonnaise, and then my mom would say, "There you go, here's your tomato sandwich."
That's all you need. A little salt and pepper. I like a little salt and pepper though. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that is true. That was good.
that's good eating right there. That's country boy in you right there.
Yeah, definitely, man. When I was a kid, we grew such a huge garden, and I mean, it was big. I mean, it was humongous. It had to be an acre or
A
so
lot of
big.
families used to do that.
Yeah, and we would put up. I couldn't. I was too young, for many years to understand why were we doing this. You know, oh my gosh, all the corn I had to hoe, and my back hurt, and then the peas and the beans we picked, and then we had to can them all, and hours and hours in the kitchen with my mom saying, Get this bucket of tomato crap out of here. Come and get the cobs from the corn or whatever. Oh my God, she would.
Hard work.
Yeah, and all the jars and stuff. And of course, we appreciated them in the winter, but I never quite, um, realized, how lucky I was that we were doing all of this.
Yeah.
And oh, you came in and say hi. Come here. Come on. Everybody's going to have to say hi to you. There's my puppy dog. This is my best friend here. My dog, Ariel.
Ariel.
Ariel. Yes, Ariel. Oh yeah. Oh yes. She was running around. She's a border collie, and she herds the horses all day long when she comes
So
here.
how did you come up with the name Ariel?
I didn't.
Oh.
The guy that I got her from, I went over there actually for a friend of mine to get him a dog because his dog had passed away.
Okay.
And the guy says, "Well, I got a bunch of pups, some border collies, and they're supposed to be really smart." So I says, "Okay, well, I'll come over and get one. I'm going to surprise him." And so I went over and I picked out one, and he's like, "You should pick out one for yourself. And you should take another one. Then I can get rid of two," he says. And I looked and looked, and his kids were playing with this one. And they were playing and playing, and they were trying to put clothes on her, and playing. And the two daughters loved this dog the most. And I didn't even pick her up. I never did anything with her. I played with all the rest of them. And then he says, "Which one you want?" And I says, "The one they're playing with." and he says, "Really?" And I says, "Yeah." And that's what I went home with, and it was the best decision I ever made. As she's been.
Now, are they the dogs that like herd cattle or
Yes.
sheep? Man, that's so cool to watch them work
Yes.
together like that.
Yes, and she's so smart. You just tell her what to do, and she's gone. She to come here, and she sits, and then it took me like 2 seconds to teach her anything, and she took to the herding naturally, and she's just so super smart, real friendly, just all around good,
Yeah, I love
good dog.
dogs. I tell you, when my last one got stolen, it just broke my heart. so I haven't had one since.
Yeah.
And I had a pit. Like, man, pits are smart too, and like she wasn't
Yeah.
mean at all. Like she'd lick you to death, but like literally, like I'm telling you, I used to practice telepathy with her. I could
Yeah.
tell what she was thinking.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's all I could.
That's exactly it. I've been trying to do that with the dogs too, is like try to get the voice out of my head and send them thought pictures and see if I get a reaction. And I kind of do. I don't know if I'm doing it right or not, but
Oh,
I think
dogs can sense you, and that's like dogs are the best judge of character. If your dog don't like somebody, you don't need to like them either. Stay away from them because there's something wrong with them.
That's exactly true. Exactly. Um, it's nice to have. It's good company. I came out here to North Dakota, and I live by myself.
Where are you from originally?
Wisconsin.
Okay.
I came out here, and it's been tough times, and I don't know what I'd do without my dog. She comes with me to work every day, and she sits in the back seat, and she's my co-pilot.
That's cool. She can go to work with you.
Yeah, that is the best. I tell you, it just makes, you know, it's just so nice to have her. And she don't do really much. She sits back there and sleeps in the back seat most of the day and looks out the window. But just because she's there, it makes my day so much better. I try to do things. I even try to drive more careful because she's with me. It sounds stupid, but I just try to do that kind of stuff.
No, it makes sense to me. You're responsible for another life, besides your own.
Yeah. She's very, very.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you ever had a near-death experience?
No, nothing like that. Yeah, all you people are always on here talking about, I had a near death. I had this wrong with me and that wrong with me. I got all these ailments.
Did you ever have a rock bottom moment?
No, that's the thing. All you guys are always talking about this stuff, and I'm like, no, never had anything wrong with me. I'm in perfect health. I got everything good.
I mean, I guess you didn't need that reality check. We know.
No,
most of us needed a kick in the ass.
Yeah, I've never been a drinker. I've never gone out and been the partying drunken kind. So never did the drugs, never did any of that stuff. So it's like, I'm a goody two shoes or something.
That's awesome, though.
So why am I on this path?
Here's a different story. Like I said, you're the first that I've heard like this.
Yeah. I was the guy when I was in high school. I was the guy that drove all the other ones around while they were drinking.
The designated driver.
Yeah, that was so true. But yeah, I never had those things wrong with me. I never had that experience where there was this major catastrophe or something. I mean, I've been pretty lucky then.
So let me ask you then, what did spark your awakening?
Well, the thing is I guess that I got the what sparked my awakening? The internet. Go figure. I remember getting on the internet one night when I first got I was working at a ranch. I was a maintenance manager and activities director, and I was at the ranch. And I got on the internet, and I got my computer, and I'm looking at stuff, and I'm on there, and I'm like, clicking. I must have spent hours click on this and look at that and watching videos. I'm like, holy crap, there's a whole nother world out there. And it all kept going around to aliens and things I didn't know anything about. And then of course I started really, wow, hey, I gotta look into some of this stuff. And then of course I played the conspiracy theory thing for a long time, like, oh man, that's gotta be true. Well, then I realized that, hey, you can't just do the conspiracy on what somebody else says. You have to do the work yourself.
Yep.
If you hear somebody say that the moon is fake, don't just say, oh yeah, well, I know it's true because the men went up to the moon and they landed up there, and that's it. NASA says that it's there. Okay, great. Well, you need to find, if you want to believe that conspiracy theory, you need to find at least 3 other sources that say different, and then read what they have to say to see if they don't sound like crockpots.
Yeah,
and yeah, exactly.
Always read the opposing views.
Yes, exactly. That's the other thing. Okay, so you got the Bible, and for an experiment, and you all can do this too. I encourage everybody to do that. Just get on there, and you can do this on YouTube. And me and a buddy went and did this and said, okay, today, we're gonna be Christians. So how do I become a Christian? Type it into YouTube, and the guy will come up and say, you got to do this, this, and this, and now you are a Christian. Okay, let's change it. Let's become a Jew. We don't like it. We're tired of being Christian. Let's be a Jew. How do you become a Jew? And then the guy comes up there and says, you got to say this and do this and this and this. And now you are a Jew. And then, well, let's pick another one. How do I become, to Islam or something, whatever it was? And then you do the same. And then, you know what? When we got it all done, it was almost the same thing. Say these three things, and you must now believe in this and commit yourself to this God and blah, blah, blah. And now you become whatever. And I'm thinking, they're all the same.
So I guess you looked into each, because I've looked into
Yeah.
each individual religion too, and that was my outcome. It's basically the same story, insert different names.
Yes. Okay. So you got all these different things. Well, then I said, okay, if you're going to know about this side, what about the other side? You need to investigate, what's the dark half do? What's the dark entities doing? What are they doing? Oh, and then you start investigating, you're going, well, they're doing blood sacrifices, they're doing, blah, blah, blah. And then you look at the other side and you go, holy crap, they're doing blood sacrifices too. Gee, which side is the right side? Just because the priest puts on a white robe, he's the good guy? Just because that, the witch over there puts on the black robe, that's the bad guy? Are we going to be defined by color? Is that just because he's got on the white hat, he's the good guy? Well, not necessarily. Sometimes it's a trick.
I mean, I guess it is the battle of good versus evil, just the battle of duality.
Yeah. Well, they know, people study this all the time. And if you don't believe me, I'm sure the government is out there studying, the religions are out there studying what makes you tick. How does your brain work? How do you respond to a color? How do you respond to a noise? How will you respond to an action, and what reaction will you get? And then they compile all this stuff and say, okay, this is how we get them to do this. This is how we're going to get them to do that. And I'm just making light of it in an easy way, but they have, I'm sure, people who study this to the point of, product placement. We'll just go with that. Product placement. You go to a grocery store, they have people deciding, if your stuff is at eye level, here, my eye level, I will buy this stuff more than the stuff that's on the bottom shelf.
Yep.
And because it's at eye level, they have to pay a premium to be at that eye level. Right there, that people have studied this stuff.
And that's why they herd you in towards the expensive stuff, and they keep it all around the perimeter of the stores.
Yes, exactly. And if they do that at a grocery store, they do that on advertisements. Do you ever notice that the advertisement's a little bit louder, or they have that familiar jingle? Which one of us can't remember the, Oscar Mayer Wiener jingle, or the, the jingle for a famous TV show? It's always, oh yeah, I hear that jingle, and then they play tunes that are familiar to other tunes, so it catches your ear and you think of good thoughts. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, that sounds really good. And then you watch your stuff, and then all that stuff is programming. And there's hidden things in there that your subconscious mind picks up that you don't notice. That's why
we're not even aware of the subliminal programming.
Yeah, that's why TV is so dangerous. Yep. You watch it and you don't even know what's flashing, in front of you. You don't know what you're putting on around you. You might think something that you put on your wall is really cool, but hey, that's a symbol, a sigil. Wayne had talked about these sigils for so long, but they incorporate these sigils into so many things that you just take them as everyday stuff, like the symbol for Walmart, the little star, and everybody's like, oh, you see the little star and you get all happy, like, oh, shopping, I'm going to buy a
That's
lot of
like,
crap.
I was watching that Grateful Dead concert last night that I had
Yep.
attended, and I'd never noticed this before, but on Jerry Garcia's guitar on the neck, sigils galore all up and down the neck in silver and gold.
Yeah. And you see, now that you're aware of it, you're catching it. But when you watched it before, you didn't. But I guarantee you that your subconscious mind processed all of that. It's seen everything there, and it played back in your head. Years later, it's playing in your head, but you have no idea what you were looking at.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is that you're the Manchurian candidate at that point, because when something comes up and another sigil interacts, like anything else, like a chemical reaction, you put two things together and it trips that breaker, and now you're activated. What or how or what they wanted, who knows? That's a guess, but they're putting it out there for a reason.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's amazing. I can tell how much more, just like, for lack of a better word, like being in tune, like you said, and being more aware and conscious of the thoughts coming through, because most, in the past I would just dismiss those, and now I truly, that's the way I lead my life, through the thoughts that come through my head, whether I agree with them or not sometimes.
Yeah, and
But it
sometimes
hasn't steered me wrong.
Yes, and sometimes you just have to go with that gut feeling. And sometimes, well, my logic says, I should do this, but my intuition says I should do that. And it doesn't seem like the right path, but sometimes that is the right path in the long run. It just don't seem the right path at that moment.
At that moment, yep. Good analogy.
And, yeah. And there's a lot of them. I mean, if you read a lot of these books, or even that book that you're reading, the mind thing. I mean, I read the whole thing just about. I got like 2 pages left, but and I'm going to read it again, because it's really interesting.
It's something that should be read a couple of times, actually.
Yeah, I even ordered a few books and sent them to people already, because I was like, I sent one. Believe it or not, I sent one to my mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, good
My
me.
mom watches every one of them.
Yeah. My mom don't watch, but I did send her a book. But you know what? I got an interesting response from it all, because I found out some little information she said to me that I didn't know anything about. So it was well worth the purchase of the book, because
Right.
she says to me, she says, well, when I was younger, she says, my brothers and my father were more philosophers, as you're becoming or you're looking into, then and that's how the family I grew up in, and so they were like that. And I'm like, well, really? So I'm thinking, well, now it's kind of like in the family kind of thing. It's a passed down thing. I'm questioning. I'm thinking, wow, this blows my mind. I didn't realize that this is something I didn't know anything about.
It's something, I would never do one of those ancestry things or anything like that, but I would like to know more about, like my roots, the bloodlines and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know
Yeah.
anything about your?
Not so much, but I am doing last year, in the fall, the last time I went home to visit, I've been starting a video with them, and I decided to ask them questions. And I'm going to make a nice little video of it. And I was asking them questions, things I didn't know, like, hey, where did what were your favorite TV programs? Simple stuff I started out with. When did you get electricity in the house? Where did you grow up? What were your family roots? Where did they come from? So I would know, because I'm going to forget. And then, and then who do I ask? And I think back to my grandma, who I spent a lot of time with. And And I wish I would have had a video camera then, because I talked to her so much, and I think, oh man, all the things she told me, and I wish I could just remember them all, like how to do the canning and how to do the jelly making, even though I helped her and I did some of that. And she told me about the old times and how they fixed things and did stuff, and they didn't have, when they got, she didn't even have a toilet now. She still had the outhouse,
Oh yeah.
and she had one sink in the house. And she told me the old stories where they used to take the tub and put the tub out, and then you take the bath in the tub. And I'm like, oh my goodness, But if I would have had that on video, it would be priceless right now. But I can't remember
I
it
mean,
all.
that's the way like that my grandparents had grew up. It was the same way, outhouses and all that. As a matter of fact, I remember when I was a kid, we lived below my grandparents, and there was still an out. I mean, they didn't use it anymore, but there was still an outhouse there, that they hadn't tore down, because I guess it hadn't been too long since they hadn't used it.
Yep, yep, yeah. Well, she had the outhouse right up until she died, but yeah, it was all grandfathered in and stuff. It was probably one of the last places around anything like that. It was just a really old house, and she kept saying it'll make it, the house will make it. But she was, funny in her old ways and things like that. And but I learned so much from her. And I'm starting to put the pieces together from what she knows and what my mom and my dad know, and other people. And it's like, now the whole thing is starting to make sense. Why the world is the way the world is because you know somebody, it's like this. If there's a story and we're all playing telephone, and somebody tells you something, and then they pass it down, and their parents pass it down, and somebody forgot to tell you, and then, well, you only knew half the story, so you pass it down, and then you get a different belief, and then nobody, in the end, nobody really knows the real story anymore.
Mm-mm.
And you just shrug your shoulder. Well, that's what I was told, and my father told me, and I assume his father told him. Well, maybe his father, you forgot a few words.
Well, that's like our complete history. I mean, what we know as of history was always written by the victors. So we're getting a watered down version, which we're finding out that most of that is even bullshit.
Yes. It's there's so much. The truth is out there. It's just not all in one book, and it's not all in one person, and it's everywhere, and it's your responsibility.
It's out there somewhere.
Yes,
it's out.
Yes, it's out there, and you have to look, you have to search, and then when you find it, you have to really concentrate on it and use it and say, do I feel like that really resonates and makes sense, and is that the truth? And then I guess that's the only thing you can go by. But the truth is out there. You just have to search and do the work and put the pieces of the puzzle together to make a whole.
Anything that's being presented in the mainstream, though, and if you're still following along with that and taking credence in it, though, you're on the wrong path if you're doing
well, the thing is they do throw out truths there.
Correct. But I'm saying if you're living, you know what I'm saying, caught up in the system still. That's why I care nothing about it.
Exactly. And that's why people buy into it, is because there is some truth in there. If it was all lies, they wouldn't buy into it. There has to be a hint of truth in there to make it all blend together so you believe it. And it's like, okay, is there a virus? Yes. We'll just go with this one, because it's in the mainstream right now. Right. Is there a virus? Yes. Did they lock down
the name of it?
Yeah. Did they lock down a country? Yeah. They locked down other countries? Yeah. Those are all truths. But is it as bad as they're making it out? Probably not. Are there people dying?
You can do a little homework and see for yourself.
Yes, exactly. And then you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and then you're watching how people are so afraid of something they can't see. And now they're wearing masks. It's like they get up in the morning, put the mask on, and then they're driving to work in their car with the mask on, Oh, I got to go, Well, nobody's around. You're not going to get the virus by just because you put the mask on and you drove to work, nobody's
And,
with you. Makes
you know,
sense.
and that's the funniest thing I've seen is seeing people in the cars by themselves with a mask on. Because listen, folks, and this is the straight up truth. The only thing that mask is doing is keeping you from getting other people sick. It is not keeping you from getting sick from other people. That's not how those masks work.
Mhm.
So
Yes, exactly. And people don't look into that either, and they don't understand. How many of you out there actually looked up what a virus is, what it does, how it works? What is it actually? Once you understand the mechanics of it, it's not so bad. You kind of can get your head wrapped around it. You know how to prepare for it. You know what to look for. um, and then you can protect yourself when you know what you're looking for, instead of um, you're just dealing with this invisible enemy. And people are, it's like they're showing these things where they were hauling out tanks and stuff like that for the longest time. And I was making a big joke about it. It's like these people are on YouTube channels are like, the army's hauling out tanks all over the country and everything. And I'm thinking, how are they fighting that with a tank? It's an invisible enemy and they got tanks. Really? That makes no sense. And if they are, it's for a different purpose. They're just leading you on. Is that fake news or not? No, they're probably really hauling the tanks out there, but whatever they're hauling them for is nothing to do with that,
not with the
because
virus.
you don't fight an invisible enemy with a tank.
I kept saying, I just think this was kind of a test run, is the way I keep. That's what I feel. I don't know. What I don't.
Well,
What do I know? But that's just what I
a
feel.
test run. Oh, this was a successful run.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're happy with the results. They're ecstatic.
Well, yeah, they are. This is if you ever looked at the 2020 and the 2030 agendas or whatever, that it's fitting right in. And what
Something that came to my mind, I swear that you're going to see this big time. Just wait and see. You think you saw all this climate activation, activists and stuff going on? Wait till they fire the world back up and all the smog and pollution comes back and they start comparing photos again.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh yeah, they'll use that to their advantage. The thing is they're playing it like a fish. We're the fish. We're out there. They threw the line out. They caught us. They're reeling us in. But I don't know much about fishing. I'm not a fisherman, but I do know that when you get the fish, you reel it in a little bit, and then you let go for a little bit, and he swims around, and you reel it in a little bit more, and then you let go a little bit, and then you reel it in a little bit more, and that's what they're doing. Hey, we're gonna lock everything down. They locked everything down. Well, now we're gonna ease the restrictions some. Yep. Well, they ain't gonna take the restrictions away. They're just gonna ease them up some. And
this is the new norm.
Yes.
You keep hearing it, shoving it down your throat.
Yes. And like I said, back to the positive thing, make the best of it. Don't let it get to you, because that's what they want. They want you to believe there's this invisible enemy. Just protect yourself. Yep. Just wash your hands, not to an extreme like you're nuts crazy. Wash your hands like normal, like you should be washing your hands. Don't drop something on the floor, wipe it off and go, well, it's 5-second rule. That doesn't count anymore. Don't, if you have to distance yourself, do it, but don't say I'm not going to go places and do things. And that's just ridiculous. I mean, everybody's going to get sick anyway.
The most important, especially if you want to, keep from getting sick, you need to be outside in that sunlight.
Yes, the sun. The sun will kill all of viruses. They're not immune to the sun, that's for sure. And that's the best thing. Just go out, be outside, get some fresh air. It'll do everybody a world of good. That's why I don't understand why they close the parks. I'm thinking they close a bunch of the parks, and it's like, why? People usually aren't close to each other in a park, and they're outside in the sun. So that makes no sense. They want you cooped up in your dark house.
Well, like you said, that's the part of the battle on the psyche.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Don't kill grandma and grandpa, you know. So change, we have to change and adapt to this new way of living, you know. uh we don't want to kill grandma and grandpa. Nobody does. We want them to be fine. We want grandma and grandpa to live. But change, be a little courteous, wash your hands, try not to get sick. If you got a cold, don't go over there and sneeze on grandma and grandpa, uh
Common sense.
yes, use your common sense. Grandma and grandpa are going to get sick. They're going to get sick. If nothing else, bring grandma and grandpa some vitamins. Bring them some healthy food. Say, quit watching the TV, eat some healthy stuff.
Yep.
Don't eat the Twinkies. Eat some healthy, good stuff here. There is food. Bring them some food. Make them a dinner. Do something nice for somebody, even if they ain't your grandma and grandpa. Just be nice, do nice things, bring them some healthy food. I mean, how many people out there just ordering pizzas? Is pizza good? No, not really.
That's what I'm saying. Like I say, every time, take it upon yourself when you're out in public and you don't have a mask covering your face, smile to people, say hello, do that. Like that positivity spread, it's contagious.
Yes, yes. And if you're positive, it's like that book was saying. We were reading the Higher Conscious Minds, and just think to yourself, if somebody says love to you, what kind of feeling do you get? And then think to yourself, somebody says hate to you, I hate you. Oh, well, that just puts a big lump in your throat right away. Whereas if somebody says love, you feel, oh, I feel all good and happy. Well, that's the reactions you're getting, positive and negative right off the bat. If you can think that in your head, imagine what it does to other people.
Yep. Absolutely.
So be positive. Other people will be positive. And I remember when I came to North Dakota, here's a good example. It was so wonderful. And this is why I wanted to be out here so much is we were making good money, oh man, we were just rolling in it. I'm so happy to be out here. And we would be out on site for a week or so at a time, no shower, no nothing. We were dirty, scummy, wearing the same clothes over and over. It was horrible. But then we go to the restaurant and the waitress would be nice to us, and we'd leave her a huge tip. And when we got to the counter, we look at her, we'd pay our bill, and then we hand over a bunch of money and say, pay the next guy's.
Right.
Pay the next guy's bill too. Thanks. We had a great time, and
That's
walk
awesome.
out. And that happened so many times. It was like a common occurrence. You'd walk up there. Well, somebody paid for your bill. Well, here you go. Pay for the next guy.
That's been happening a lot around here. They've actually been reporting it on the news where like it's happening everywhere around here at all these like drive-throughs and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. Yeah, like pass it along if you got it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Pass it along. Do something nice for somebody. And don't. Here's the thing. Here's my suggestion. Don't write a check for some big giant charity in Timbuktu land. That you don't know what they're doing anything with the money with. Find somebody who needs it. Not necessarily give them money if you don't need to give them money, because sometimes people just don't know how to handle money. Bring them some food if they're hungry,
or
buy them something they need. Yeah, words of encouragement. Bring them something that they need, or help them, just help them.
That's what I'm saying. Just a simple smile can change somebody's day.
Yes.
It's really that simple.
Yes, that's really simple, and everybody should do that. That's the normal way. That's what the beaver cleavers of the world were doing way back in the day. Everybody was in beaver cleaver land. It was so nice and happy and wonderful, and it was like you watch them shows and it's just like,
golly gee, Wally.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem the beaver had was not telling his parents that I spilt the milk and I don't know what to do. Mom's going to be mad. I got to figure out what to tell her. I'm going to go to town and see if I can borrow 10 cents from Joe at the fire station, and I'll get that, and then I'll do something and I'll bring her the milk, and then life will be good again.
I know we're going over an hour, but that brings something to mind. that shows you, look at the programming that was going on during that time, you know, the 50s and 60s, and look at the way lifestyle was. Now look at the programming we're seeing now, and look at the way society is.
Yeah. Yeah. Just watch some of them old shows and look at the way those people dressed. Look at how they dressed and how they acted. You know, not even if you don't watch a TV show, look in an old book. You know, those people wore decent clothes. They try to be respectable. They were courteous and nice. They waved to other people. They didn't snub them. I mean, sure, I'm sure there was people out there who did things like that, but now everybody does that. There's not many people that wave to you. People don't present themselves nice. They come in trashy clothes and go, you don't like the way I'm dressed, then yeah, you know, tough luck.
Go to Walmart, you'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Lord have mercy.
No. Well,
That's
anyway.
one thing. If you want to be entertained by people watching, that's a good place to do it. Man, I've seen all walks.
Yeah, people need.
But I hate that place. That's one place I despise.
Yeah, it's a good place to people watch.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well,
definitely.
man, what'd you think about your first time? Because you're definitely coming back.
Oh yeah, this is great. This is great. I would be pleased to come back anytime, man. This has been a joy.
Absolutely. I'm so glad I finally got you on here. And you know, I really, the next time we get back in here, I'd like to hear more about how, you know, the research led you into this awakening and when you had that aha moment. So we'll get into that next time. Is there anything you'd like to leave us with, a final thought?
Yeah. I want everybody out there just to go out and do something nice for somebody. That's my word. Just make the effort. I don't care if it's a phone call. Go out, say something nice, do something nice, spread the positivity. Just make the effort. Don't say, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. And never happens. Right. Just go out and do it. And you'll feel better. You'll feel better. And don't let yourself ask for like, oh yeah, well, I did that for him, and then, you know, he needs to do that for me now, and blah 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 blah. Don't ask for anything. Just give.
Yep.
Just give of yourself, and that's it.
Absolutely. Well said. You know, and I got to reiterate that it's all, like I said, breaking back down to simplicity. I mean, we are supposed to be ambassadors right now, and especially during all this madness that's going on, we have got to spread that positivity. So take it upon yourself every day when you're out to at least smile, or like you said, give somebody a phone call, text somebody, whatever it takes. Just let them know you care, especially the ones that don't have as many people around. So Robert, thank you so much for joining me, brother. Like I said, this is your channel just as much as it's mine. So everybody, thank you. I do want to say, I don't want to say the complete name because I don't know what their YouTube handle is, but Lorelei also donated $50 yesterday. So Lorelei, please let me know what your YouTube channel is so I can give you full credit, but thank you for donating another $50. Folks, we're good to go next month too. So, and I told Robert also, I'm going to be doing a t-shirt giveaway. Mary wins. You need to let me know what you want, girl. Come on now. So until tomorrow, I'll have Trina Phoenix for Higher Minds Sunday and Monday. Be the frequency you want to receive, folks. Robert, thank you once again. I love you all. Have a good night.